also, at the same time, he's like this incredibly handsome man, like myself. No,
True, yeah.
I'm
saying, yeah, confirm that you have to see
but
it.
he's also like a.
반갑습니다. 이승국입니다. 영화 슈퍼맨의 개봉을 맞이해서 감사하게도 제가 필리핀 마닐라에 가서 연출을 맡은 제임스 건 감독님과 대화를 나눌 수 있는 기회를 얻었습니다. 그날 어떤 대화를 했는지 바로 시작합니다. 셋, 둘, 하나.
Hi, I'm SKLee from South Korea. It is again great to see you.
It's good to see you again.
You.
Since Seoul.
True.
How long has it been? Like 3 years?
It's been about a couple of years. Yeah.
2 years too.
And it was still great to see you giving up great energies to the people who love you.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's like this is a movie that I really love, and to be here in the Philippines and see how excited people are for the film, man, it really warms my heart. It's amazing.
And I'm sure people love you because you give them great stories. Especially when you talk about mischiefs and outsiders, you are such a great storyteller. And come to think of it, I realized Superman is a kind of outsider because he's an alien.
Yeah.
But at the same time, ironically, he's the symbol of every great virtue of human society.
Yes.
So how does the nature of Superman harmonize with the nature of you as a storyteller?
Well, I think, in a way, there's a lot of things about Superman that I relate to. I relate to Superman more than other characters in a lot of ways because, I'm a guy who likes Superman. I feel like an outsider. He's an alien from another planet. It can be very lonely. I felt like an outsider as a kid. I didn't feel like I fit in. I was different than everyone else for whatever reason. And I felt like that. But also, at the same time, he's like this incredibly handsome man, like myself. No,
True, yeah. I'm saying, confirm that you have to see
but
it.
he's also like a guy who really does fit in certain ways. And in me, like, I was like, even though I felt like an outsider, I was always able to like be in situations and come off as if I was okay and figure out how to work that. And now I work in a job that's incredibly mainstream, right? So he's both an outsider and incredibly mainstream at the same time. And so I think that's a kind of strange, paradoxical place to be, whether you're me or Superman. And I think a lot of people feel like that in different ways, right?
True. And that's a great way to start this special story of Superman, which takes place in unique environment. And then you have to tell the story. You describe yourself as a storyteller before being a director.
Definitely.
To tell a story, you have to come up with a good method because Superman being an icon in pop culture for so many years, now there are people who know too much about Superman.
Yeah.
There are people who only know the name Superman. And there are tons of people who think they know about Superman when they actually don't.
Yeah.
And as a storyteller, you either bring new story or bring a new method of telling story to please every one of them. So what was your take on that?
Well, you can't please everyone. That's the first thing you have to let go of. There's different people want different things with Superman, and everybody has their own idea. Do they want trunks? Do they not want trunks? Like you have to make a choice, and you're gonna, make one group happy and one group unhappy. How powerful is Superman? Is he somebody that can, do his laser vision and cut the world in half like an orange? Or is he somebody who, has other opposing forces that are as strong as he is? Well, we went the second way. So that makes some people unhappy. So there's all things that make people happy or unhappy about Superman. But at the end of the day, you just have to be as true to the characters as you possibly can. And I don't think anything about Superman, about his specific powers, is necessarily what makes him Superman. I think it's the way he views the world, his good nature, his kindness, his willingness to always look out for the person in need, his willingness to always be there for the person who's being bullied, whether it's a community or a human being or a squirrel. He's always there. And so I think that, to me, that was the most important thing off the bat.
Actually, we see the footage last night, and I can confirm that this will be a special Superman movie. I cannot wait to see the whole movie. And I have to ask you this question. From this interview, it sounds like you are only controlling all the story, but you said from your past interview, you try not to let your ego take over the movie. To do that, you have to ask many questions to people around you on and off the set.
I do that.
So making this special Superman movie, what was the most crucial feedback you get from outside yourself?
Frankly, it's probably the shorts. I mean, because I was going to do, when Julianne Markowski, our costume designer, we couldn't go to understand what we were going to do. I said, listen, why don't you make a costume with the shorts, make a costume without the shorts, and then let's decide.
Okay.
And she came in. David tried on the costume with the shorts, tried on the costume without the shorts. I went, I really want to go shorts, man, because I think of myself as kind of a trunks guy. But I think I'm going to go without the trunks. I said, David, what do you think? David said, I like the trunks. I said, really? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, why? They look funky. And he said, because this is an alien from outer space who shoots beams out of his eyes and everybody's terrified of him. He wants little kids to like him. He doesn't want them to be afraid of him. And instantly in my brain, I'm like, well, there's a character reason for the shorts. It's not just the way they look. It's about a choice that Clark Kent is making for himself as Superman. And from that point, the choice was absolutely clear. And I wouldn't have gotten that without David. Now, I don't want to prop up David's ego too much, because that's the only thing David ever did that was good.
Okay. Thank you for a fun and crucial answer. And for your information, this is the first ever cap that I bought for myself 20 years ago. So I just wanted to see you.
That's awesome.
Superman, so.
Oh, man, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, yeah.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your answers. And I
Thank
hope you have a great time in the world tour. Thank you.
I will.
네, 언제나 말하지만 인터뷰는 시간이 칼입니다. 제가 뭘 한 게 아니라 저게 제가 받은 원본 영상의 끝입니다. 사실은 5분 지나고도 조금 더 인터뷰를 허락해 주신 거라서 엄밀히 말하면 감사한 상황이기도 하죠. 아무튼 그렇게 감독님과의 대화가 마무리되었습니다. 영화 슈퍼맨은 7월 9일 개봉하니까요. 관심 있으신 분들 직접 확인해 보시고요. 영상 재밌게 보셨다면 채널 구독하고 알람 설정하시고 영상에 댓글 남기고 좋아요 눌러주시는 거 잊지 말아주시길 바라며 저는 다음번 다른 영상으로 돌아오도록 하겠습니다. 지금까지 전 천재이승국의 이승국이었습니다. 감사합니다. 바이바이.